Skulls Unlimited. Yes, hello. Dixon? Yes.
Film is beginning, and here we go.
Low. Let's do it again.
Good. Slow, don't stop. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
How's it sound? Okay? Sounds okay? Could.
Sounds great.
Yeah? Okay. If I turn the air conditioner off for a minute, do you think everybody's gonna get upset?
I think so.
I'm only. Oh,
Daniel will be upset.
by the way, this only takes like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so you don't have to. Then we can get back to the fun part. Oh, and also, yeah. So you're here as witnesses, more or less, to this reading that I'm about to give. And then after, I'm going to put the document over here on the table, and everybody, if you choose to, it'd be great if you signed it. This is all stand up. Never mind. I, David Dixon, being of sound mind and body, do declare that upon my death, my head should be removed from my body and cleaned using standard taxidermic techniques, dermostat beetles. The rest of my body, other than my head, should be cremated. The material remains from these two processes, skull and ashes, should be placed in the assemblage museum mausoleum, in a manner demonstrated by the work's artificial stand-ins. If no one comes forward desiring to possess museum mausoleum, my entire body should be cremated and museum mausoleum remain in its current model form. It is my hope, as indicated by the piece's title, that one day, after being kept for a time by those who loved me, this assemblage might find its way into a museum collection.
party?
Yes, it is. You just started. Come on in.
I don't know how you people live down here.
On first consideration, this desire to preserve my skull may seem grotesque. But upon careful reflection, one might begin to feel a subtle longing to possess a skull oneself, especially that of a loved one. What more precious object could exist? And we as a culture routinely throw them away, burn or bury them in the cold ground. That cold ground is usually located near a church or in a sanctified space of a cemetery, or if you're lucky, outside the walls of Jerusalem to be first resurrected when the Messiah comes, or comes again. In other words, where and how we are buried is not benign. It is rich with cultural meaning and interconnects with our cultural identity. Traditionally, religion has mitigated death, yet religion's hold on death's meaning is loosening, and we must, and we do, reimagine death rituals to claim them for ourselves. We as a culture, as a species, should reconsider how we dispose of our dead, why we push them to the edge of town to be forgotten. It is not, as is often claimed, only about hygiene. It's about fear. The Egyptians, for example, lived with their dead fearlessly. There is evidence that before mummies were interred, they spent several generations in the home, possibly in the vestibule, to be acknowledged daily by living kin. I realize I'm asking a lot, perhaps too much. Legalities need to be worked out. This reading and your signatures are the first step in that process. And that my desire may be perceived as arrogant or indecent. But I imagine this not only to preserve myself, wherever and whatever that is, but also to establish a possible new protocol towards the dead. To be remembered, as I've outlined here, has to be the antithesis of mass graves and genocide. My hope is that respect fostered by close proximity to the dead could possibly undermine inhumanity in life. In conclusion, I would like to share with you a dream that I had which was inspired by this piece. Interestingly, at least to me, this piece has inspired several dreams, more or less the reverse is realism, which is dream inspired. In this particular dream, I had filleted myself with a knife, not just the skin, all the way down to the bone, into a skeleton. I was able to walk around like this, but very gingerly. I was sore, raw, and sensitive, and had very little energy. But I was glad that I had done the filleting, and others, despite the fact it pained them to look at me, seemed to appreciate the effort. There was a scene with a doctor who was able to look at my joints in action, and one where a policeman came up to me while I was stiffly resting on a curb in a blue-skied, green-grassed suburb. He seemed angry, as if I had committed some crime, but I hadn't. There was no rule against filleting yourself. Ultimately, he too seemed rather touched by the effort I had gone through, and was careful and concerned. Others around were approaching quietly, curiously looking on. I was saddened and pained, but pleased that I was able to do this thing, not only for myself, but for others. I was not afraid of dying, but was aware that what I had done could have long-lasting negative physical consequences. I appreciated the people's understanding. So, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
It's so pretty. $100 million.
There's bling on it, right?
It's all real diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive, if it sells, it'll be the most expensive piece of contemporary work at auction.
Ever,
It's
yeah.
just crazy.
Whose skull is it? Just
It's like modeled after something found in,
oh, so it's not a real.
I don't know.
I heard about the guy that his girlfriend died. I don't remember. And embalmed her and then encased her in a coffee table.
Was she naked? And then I said, oh, well, when I die, I want to be made into a diamond. I think it's a great way to go. It's carbon. We're all carbon. We're, back to the earth. Anyway, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Lady.
Nice to meet you.
hands on it. This Damien Hirst did like the British Damien Hirst.
No, I mean, what's
There was that other guy, Zurbarán. No, but Damien Hirst is a bigger artist than Zurbarán. Velasquez, yeah.
Never heard
but
of
Damien
it.
Hirst.
What gallery is he? Why do you think he just wants to use the head?
Why just the head? So interested in this portrait. I think it's the whole tradition of portraiture that he's interested
Do you
in.
think it's just because he doesn't want to take up too much space in the house? Or maybe
Taking up too much space in the house. That could be it, I suppose. I mean, I've known David a long time. It's great and everything, but it's... Oh, I mean, it's kind of full of shit, you know? It's like...
I'm here to see the real estate.
No, but Damien Hirst did this like years ago.
Yeah, it's sort of derivative.
Yeah. Yeah, it's derivative, I guess. I don't know, but I know he's done this. He has done this.
That's only classic.
The diamond one is new. He has done this work years ago. We're talking about a totally different work.
Maybe it's a homage.
It's just cheap. It's a cheap homage.
Maybe it's like a quotation of David.
It's definitely a quotation. It's even less than a quotation. It's like it's full of crap quotation. You have to do the crap in the right way. This is the crap in the crappy way.
What's this guy's name?
David Dixon. He's from the South.
I can't believe I came to Brooklyn for this.
A few seconds of silence because there's going to be a voiceover over top of your image. So just a few seconds. I can cut this out. Okay. So now just say, I'm David Ebner.
I'm David Ebner. I'm the president of Ebner Technology, which is a 100-year-old electroplating firm. Our main products are for the space and military electronics world of high technology. We bought this incredible building in an attempt to expand our business back in 1983, I think. And were amazed to find the basement filled with caskets, stacked to the ceiling. The building evidently was the Greenpoint Chapel's The DiGuardia family owned it. They were the morticians. Attached to the building over the loading dock was our 14-room duplex apartment in which he raised 7 children. And the entrance is in marble and terrazzo with a fireplace. And when people come, they're amazed to find a plating operation, which is basically a commercial kind of business, in such a venue. And we tell them the whole story of the building, and we show them the embalming room off the loading dock, a white tiled room about the size of a large bathroom with a drain on the floor, which always is a showstopper. And other than that, we moved the caskets out, we renovated the building. Now the building is inhabited by artists in their studios of varying stripes, some incredibly wonderful woodworking artists, cabinet makers that work for the architectural trade, and a curious metal artist who barely can be understood with his wonderful Colombian English.
How you doing?
With a regular 8? I mean, regular.
Yeah, it's high 8. It's old school.
The regular big one. Tape. The big tape or the small tape?
Big tape.
Oh, that's why I got it. My wife brought me one about 10 years ago. This big, when the place went out of big.
Oh, the VHS tape.
Fucking heavy. I haven't used, I only used it once.
All right, tell me about that.
The history of the used to be called the Greenpoint Chapel. It was a funeral home. Before that, if you notice the way it comes sloped down, my grandfather used to live there, said it was a lake. He used to catch fresh fish in there.
Really?
Yeah. He used to catch fish in there. Before it used to be a lake. That's why it comes that way. Well, see, my mother was the last one the neighbor buried there, 1978, laid out there.
Really?
So it's about 1978, 79, and they closed it. One time, me and my friends just played ball around the corner, right over there, next to it. One time, the ball went in the place where the what you call landing is, where the truck's parking.
Oh, right.
And it bounced over the landing, went in the room. I go in the room and pick up, I look up there, I see this naked man, dead body on the table. And what was it? They were draining his blood. Oh, you see there. Not on the road, but in the room where it went, the door was open and went in the room. So I look up and I see this body laying there, see the blood. Oh, I ran out like crazy.
How old were you when
I was about, let's see, about 12, 47.
Wow. Well, how's Supercat doing? Is he staying in his house over here?
Huh?
How's Supercat doing?
Oh, he was, you know what? He was around the other day. I was shocked. Yesterday, too. He came, hey, Soup. Might be in here. Wait a minute. No, he's not there. He's out by around the corner by his girlfriend.
Out tomcatting, huh?
Yeah.
No, this man knows everything about this neighborhood, so.
I know. I grew up there before. It was before. That was a funeral parlor.
This was a funeral.
Dead bodies used to be laid out in there.
Well, I'm thinking about it. This building, I have a studio in that building, so I'm just finding out. Mother was the last person to be laid out there?
1978.
78.
Hey, Rain, Fernando's getting his piano delivered.
Piano?
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah. Is it quiet or was it somewhere?
No, they gave it to him. Baldwin gave it to him.
Fuck. Morning, I just woke up.
1, 2, 3, go.
Hey, Fernando. We're here, baby. They want to know where you want to put it.
Oh. All right, Jay, let's move it out to me. It's nice and gay. It's nice. Following piano. Destroyed your piano. And the guitar.
Scare me to death. Said you scare me to death.
Yeah. Motherfucker's gonna die. Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hi. I'm naked. Where's the car? Between, I think it's 10th and 11th. Okay, so let's talk vows.
Okay, so
See, I don't really know. Basically what's gonna happen is Cynthia, we had a meeting with her to tell her what we kind of wanted and what we didn't want, and then she's gonna write her own thing based upon what we talked about.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about any of the politics. It's more for me, I just want to talk about how
You
he made
feel
me
so lucky because you realize that there's this thing that you've always wanted to do.
that I thought I couldn't have, and he's giving it to me because it is what I want.
Right.
And it's kind of like people only get married when they really want this marriage, and this little whole on my own terms, and I'm still having it.
Right.
Talking about how I'm his biggest fan, and how sometimes I love standing back and just watching him work a room, and like just watching people watch him and watching him, and you know he's always just laughing and charms everybody because we go out a lot together. And like I don't know, I feel like all these things are so cheesy, and I know it's supposed to be, but it makes me feel so weird. But it's like I can think of any time, almost any time, and obviously I love my alone time, and he loves his alone time, and you need that. But it's not even about that. But I can't think of any party I've ever been at where I haven't been like, oh, it would be so fun if he was here.
Yes, she's here. Would you like to say something to Lady? Maybe I could pass it on to her. You're not allowed to talk to her though, right?
Oh yeah, we can. She's not in her gown yet, but
No, she's not.
she's the decision maker. Where do we put the food?
The food? Yeah. Oh, there's no problem for food?
Yeah, we
Oh, that's the question?
Yes.
Nothing more romantic or...
We love you.
I was just overturned by this big stick in my face. But no, you look gorgeous, and I'm glad you waxed those brows, girl. I can see your eyes now. Gorgeous.
Digo gorgeous.
Thanks. Okay.
Por la reina.
Gracias, mi amor.
De nada.
Say something to them. Okay?
To Rainbow and Lady Fag, my favorite fags in the world. Just wanted to say how much I love you guys. You're fabulous to look every time, and wish you luck for always.
I wish you guys all the best, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful life together. We love you guys.
Hi guys, I know it's been a real stressful week and month, I'm sure, but it's all over. You have a beautiful place going on here. It's going to be a great night, and I'm sure if you guys are as happy as you are now forever, you're going to be wonderful, wonderful life together.
Thank you. Do you know who did Rainbow's outfit?
I don't know, but it's absolutely fabulous. I love Rainbow's outfit. Love it. As always.
You know, that's too much. You see, look at this. You know what fashion is? You come to the party and you see someone like that. Look at that beautiful, and this is what I have. You know, but we still look good.
Gorgeous, darling. That color.
And the color, you know,
gorgeous.
God, it doesn't work as well, you see.
I hope the couple has a wonderful honeymoon wherever they go. I was recently in Saint-Tropez, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And the boys wear these little swimsuits, and they're these thongs, and it's just all hot and beautiful.
Would you like to say something to them?
Sure, why not?
Rainbow, give them a little shout out.
Well, you know, now you're starting life together, you know? Which means you have to divide everything. All the fun, all the not fun. All the money, all the no money. So, I'll give you a knife and you can start cutting right now. I've known Lady Fag since she started dancing at Suzanne Barch's parties when they were at Happy Valley. She used to be the go-go dancer there, and they had a cage, you know. But now, because Suzanne's parties have not had that kind of setup, she just kind of circulates, which is not quite as cool because she was really good at this. She really got out there. She really danced with abandon. She really got loose and crazy, and now she doesn't do that anymore. And I kind of miss that. See?
Right. Well, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom. Okay. Is that Michael?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are people arriving?
There's people coming in.
Maybe some glitter in my hair.
Yo, it's me, Richie. Rachel wanted me to have or give you a call. Wondering where you are. This is my new number. Hopefully it showed up on Color Geeks. Can't remember. So you call back or call Rachel.
It's a little heavy.
I texted you.
What is your name, Leanne? Hey, Coach.
Hey, man, how did it go tonight?
Oh, it was great.
Was it? Oh my God, loved it.
I didn't get any seats or anything.
No.
I just left and came here.
You look gorgeous.
It's good, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I just ripped off.
Really cute, really cute. Gorgeous. Who's lady?
And I don't know, I mean, I'm happy for you guys. Yay.
Yeah. It's kind of bridal, but it's super Guadalupe, which Rainbow keeps saying it is Guadalupe bride.
Do you want,
And then my dress is this color white and strapless. It's all white till the bottom, where it's purple at the bottom. Okay? And so I really trust you for letting me know that. So if you have some ideas, you just tell me, and then maybe I'll give you some ideas, and then I'll just let you do whatever you do. Does that sound like a fair?
Yeah. How do you want to bring color out?
I was thinking my eyes would have, like I don't want to look like a drag queen, which is what I usually want to look like, but at the same, I want to be pretty, but at the same time, I want, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be crazy rainbow style. I still want to be Lady Fag, but I still want to be Lady Fag, and I also want to be a bride, because it's my only chance to be a bride. So I want it to just be pretty and magical on my eyes. Okay. Okay. And then the dark lip. Gorgeous. You better make my lips look like rainbows. You've got nice lips. Alright, let's go. Let's do it.
So we're doing what's rest of the time.
Okay.
I'm not going to rush it through. It'll be perfect. But it's okay.
It still feels real low.
Picks me up.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Does it look good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can come up a little bit more if you want.
If you could.
Yeah.
Who it is. Really? Yeah.
Hold it there.
Hold on.
Up close.
Oops, wait, one more time. One more time, that's yours.
I'm late.
For
John, am I okay?
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. No. Okay. Yeah. I haven't drank or licked anything.
Oh, you're lucky because I'm half loaded. Snoopy style. We're going this wedding, Snoopy style.
Hell yeah.
Laura, hi. This is Frankie. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to be leaving a key under the mat. Yes. Thank you, sweetheart. Yes, thank you. Bye.
I will relay you.
I hope we don't trip, lady. Because, girl, I'll be there to catch ya. I don't know if I can help you up. I love you, honey.
Wedding starting. Go sit.
Okay, so are you gonna cue me now? Mickey, are you gonna cue me now? Are you ready to go? You ready to go?
Need a cue? Okay. Up here. Stop. Together.
I feel like we're on a roller coaster.
One last replay. You want to say something to your son before you go out there?
Oh, I love you, Russell. I love Lady. And I hope the best for both of you. I love you.
First group. Nice and slow, nice and slow.
This is an unusual human skull that was donated to our museum. This is a Philippine soldier that was shot and killed during the Philippine-American War of 1899 to 1903, something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear where this person took a shot to the head.
Wow.
Bone chipping away as the bullet entered, continued through,
Wow.
and an exit wound through the back of the skull. It's very sad to think of what the last thoughts of this person before his death.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a specimen that will be prized in our museum collection. It probably will never be on display because it's controversial. Folks get really turned off by the fact of that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, this person by no means was by definition considered murdered, but he was certainly killed.
Right. Because it was in a war.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't feel like you could display it because people get
We
upset.
could. It's just not really worth the controversy. You know,
Right.
why
It
answer
distracts
that?
from your main
Why?
purpose.
Yeah, it'll totally distract from what our museum's going to be about.
Right.
I'm not saying it won't be on display, but the odds are it won't be.
Right. Right. I can see why. Yeah. Like I mean, that's exactly when it starts to be meaningful to me. You know.
Sure.
Like as soon as it's something that makes it unique or distinguishes it from all the other skulls, that humanizes it. When it stops being a specimen, I mean that's to me when it brings in a kind of subjective, kind of emotional connection that's what I want to feel with all these bones.
Okay, so I'm here at Skulls Unlimited, started by Jay, and it was, what, 21 years ago, right, when you...
I started the company in my garage in 1986, and graduated to the kitchen, and then from there to a portable building, and then finally in 1990, I moved to a retail location of about 1,000 square foot.
Right. And Joe, you work here in...
I'm the director of education. I started full-time in 2003, but prior to that I consulted with Jay on quite a few projects, went on conferences and things like that. Started coming to the company in the early 90s just as a buyer, a collector, and that's how I got to know Jay.
I'm an artist as well as a filmmaker, so I've made this piece here, which is basically... I built this and painted that portrait, so it's a commentary on portraiture as much as it is a kind of reliquary. For what I was thinking was that, and this would be my skull ultimately at some point, whenever that happens to me. So I'm trying to make that happen and to see if I could actually follow through with the idea legally. And for some reason, with right now, you're allowed to donate your body to science, which then you're seen as a specimen, so you're sort of de-individualized. So as long as no one knows who that skull is, it seems to be that we are allowed to collect them.
Actually, that's probably not true. If you don't investigate the laws, there's probably, there's less laws on the books to protect humans than there would be to protect an animal. More than likely, if you don't investigate the law, you're going to find that there probably is no laws against most of what you're discussing. It's just unheard of, but it doesn't make it not allowed.
And it's not, and because it's unheard of, maybe there's no rules about it.
Yeah, people just assume. We have people come into the showroom all the time that say, "Oh, I assumed you weren't allowed to have human skulls. It was against the law." Isn't it against the law to have a human skull? Actually, most to the contrary.
And it's a matter, too, of trying to get a doctor or whomever to actually perform the need to remove the head. I mean, all this is kind of gruesome stuff that I assume no one really wants to do, like you say.
Exactly.
I mean, there's something...
Nobody wants to do it, including us. We just really prefer not to do it ourselves.
Right.
We do it, and we will do it again, but it's just something we don't advertise to do it. We don't strive. There's money to be made elsewhere to have to get into what we call the ick factor.
Right. And would you have to ultimately flens a face, a head, or would that would the Beatles do the trick with that?
No, if we were to get a fresh human, we would have to remove the meat, remove the skin, remove the tissue, remove the eyes, tongue, brains, so on and so forth.
Right.
And then from there, we would allow it to dry on our racks for 24 to 48 hours before it be introduced into our beetles. We're set up for it. We do it. We just haven't been asked in 6 or 7 years to do anything of any consequences. We've cleaned some limbs.
Parts, yeah,
we've cleaned some limbs and such like that. But we haven't done a full body now in...
Limbs? Why would you have to clean a limb?
Well, facilities might want an arm for whatever
I see.
reason, or they fingers, or you know.
The gentleman just, did he send it yet?
It hasn't
His
arrived yet.
amputated leg from the knee down, he wants clean. So
It hasn't arrived yet, though.
we've done like when people get a hip replacement or lose a finger or something like that, we've cleaned those.
We've done a little bit of that kind of stuff, but
You said you're set up for humans. Does it involve some different, I mean, other than this?
well, the human waste, the waste of the tissue itself, it has to be hauled away to a different company. It has to
Right.
be incinerated through biomedical waste.
And why is that, do you think? I mean, is there something special about it, or is it just because it's human and we feel like it should be
free
taken?
of communicable disease. There's nothing different about it whatsoever. It's just that we as humans don't want to, throw our own body parts into the local dump, for instance. They just don't, and they don't want to be rendered at the same place that your dog's going to be eating the dog food from.
Well, I noticed that Dee and Dale, right, or who are working over there, I mean, it smells very badly in the place, which we'll go see in a minute, where they have to do the cleaning.
They get some strange reactions at lunchtime sometimes, depending on what they did that morning. They can reek by lunch, and then you go down to McDonald's and
Clear the line.
Yeah.
We've actually cleared the line at the bank before, where they're like waiting in line to cash their check, and 3 people are in front of them, and all of a sudden those 3 people get out of line. So they're trying to get away from the stink, but that's good for them because they get to the front of the line in a hurry.
Right, and do these guys find that comic? I mean,
They find
I
it
think
funny.
they get used to it.
they get used to it,
The
yeah,
local
and they're
convenience store here, they have told me on many occasions where they don't get their change counted back to them.
Oh, that's funny, because in New York, no one counts your change back to you. So this is where it all happens over here, huh?
This is the workshop.
So processing is where you drop off, and then...
That's where like a local customer, somebody would bring the stuff. We write it up in there. And then this is just the, this is where all the dirty work takes place.
Right.
Okay, this is Dale.
Dale. Hi, Dale.
It's a wallaby.
This is a wallaby? So you get very intimate with all these animals, huh?
Oh, yeah.
The bug room is right in here.
Oh, is it dermostat beetles?
Dermestid.
Domestic beetles.
No, dermestid.
Dermestid.
Yeah, D-E-R-M-E-S-T-I-D. These are the larvae here. Does most of the work.
The little ones.
Yeah, they see the various stages of the instar.
Mm-hmm. I see. And now the sea one's crawling on you. Will it bite you?
No.
It knows the difference between living and dead flesh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what a simple and natural process, huh? So if this animal were to die in nature, would the beetle emerge somehow?
The maggots would come in first, and then the dermestids would come in later. After the meat has been blown by the maggots, the meat becomes dry. Whatever's left, that's when the carrion beetles will come in.
The humans use the same vats as the animals, and there's no distinction made?
Oh yeah, no, there's no distinction between what colony we would put a human in versus an animal.
Look at him go. Incredible. Oh, and this is all flesh then? Dried up?
This is like
This
the
dust.
esophagus and stuff. Oh yeah, that's just feces.
Feces?
Yeah, it's crap.
Oh, from the beetles.
From the beetles.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
This is the workshop out here.
Okay.
All the finishing work takes place. Just like I said, there's 3 people out today. So we already have lonely little Clark over here. Oh, there he is. He's in the bathroom.
Clark, hi. So this is where the articulating is
Yeah,
done.
Clark is our lead articulator. So you like to call him a master articulator. And
So do you mind saying hi to the people?
Yeah, hello.
So you're D, huh?
Yes, I'm D.
D?
Yes.
And what do you do here?
Oh, I'm in charge of getting everything together. Make sure everything going peroxide. Make sure everybody have things to do, at work. Usually I'm pulling the greaser or either making sure, like I said, peroxide is done, the bugs and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Peroxide whitens the bones?
Yes, that's what we do. Let me show you. But this right here is what we call whitening bones. When they come in, they be real oily and greasy.
Mm-hmm.
We stick them through the bugs, let the bugs eat all of the meat off of them. I'll peroxide them to get them nice and white for the customers.
So how many different species do you think you've worked on?
All types of animals that you can think.
Thousands.
Every type of animal that you can think of that there are that I've probably worked on.
We've never had a panda come in. Red pandas.
That's the only thing you can think of as a panda.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I've
It's
worked
cut on elephants and
giraffes, lions, bears, wolves, antelopes, all sorts of ungulans. And
have you got to cut on humans? Just like parts, right?
I've done human hand,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it. I've never done a human skull.
Do you think that would bother you to have to work on a human skull?
No, I don't think so. I deal with the human skulls that come in that are already with no tissue already on it. So cutting on a human skull probably wouldn't be a whole lot different than a gorilla to me.
Mm-hmm. You like goth music too, right?
Yes. Yeah, I like industrial and gothic and heavy metal and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a human one day, though.
Well, you know, I'm here on kind of a special project that I'm trying to negotiate and legally work out to have my skull cleaned for an art piece that I'm doing. And I'm basically making a movie too about the process, and so I don't know if I die before you do. Maybe you'll end up with mine.
It's possible.
And part of it was to come, and meet and talk to people. It's kind of an intimate relationship that you have with someone if you're going to do that,
Yeah, I get that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound mean, but yeah, maybe I'll get to do that, and hopefully, I'll see you on the table soon, I guess.
I'd be proud to be on your table.
The bodies of the dead should not be despised and cast away.
The head is the most noble part of the body, that in which life resides. It is for that reason that one preserves only the crania of the ancestors.
Hi.
The soul cannot live on after the death of the body. However, the body certainly lives on after the soul has passed away. Want one?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to warm it up a little bit just by explaining to you all, because it's been the question of the week since everyone heard about their wedding. How did they come together? I didn't know that they were an item, but they were. So I'm going to explain a little bit to you how it all happened. Rainbow noticed the lady fag dancing up in the go-go cage at Happy Valley. It was like, who is that? Is that a girl or a boy? Very intrigued. And so she, on the other hand, noticed him in the club one night and said to her dear friend, Amanda Lepore, Amanda, I have a little crush. And Amanda's like, really, who? And she's like, on Rainbow, but keep it a secret. So Thursday night, they go to, I think, the Cock it was, and he says to the lady fag, I know a secret. And she's like, really? And she's like, yeah, you have a crush on me. So she naturally was like, oh, Amanda has big lips and a big mouth. And so you'd see them out night by night. They'd come together and a little kissing here, a little cuddling there. It was all in the dark in the clubs, honey. I don't know. You weren't paying attention. You might have been doing your own thing. But these two have been carrying on in front of us for a while. I'm very happy to be standing here before you all at this wonderful night. And so, with all that love, let us share our love tonight for the Lady Fag and Rainbow.
When the wind is drawn from my last breath, and I am to the skies, spill grains of land from holy hands on this grave of mine. Just wish a whisper clear to hear, only by my guide, and pray I make it safely to the other side.
To most people, they only know he's Lady Fag. I know you as something more sweeter and precious to anyone else that they might not know. You're there for me when I'm crying, when no one else sees me not like this. You see me as a human, as a regular person, and you are my fucking bitch. You are my bitch! Okay, can I say that? You are my best friend. You are my worst enemy. But she always comes back because if you cannot argue, then you cannot be true friends. Lady, I love you. I adore you. You rock my world. You make me so happy when everything else might be falling around me. You lift me up when other things might be collapsing. I've had a long year and a rough year, and you've really been my fucking soulmate. And that really, to me, makes things so much more divine. Genderless. People think I'm a faggot, think I'm gay. Honey, I might suck a dick, okay? I might suck a dick. But honey, love is not about my dick. Okay? Love is about what's in your head. Love is about what's in your head. And honey, I can suck a million dicks, but you're the fiercest bitch in the world. You know, it's true, guys. This girl rocks me like no other person. All y'all together. You can have a strap on, you can have your dick, I don't give a fuck. This is my name.
My light, she dances slowly to the organ's howl. In between the hole, the penitent and foul. Just wish a whisper clear to hear, only by my God, and pray I make it safely to the other side. Take heed of what you do with me, my body and my bones. Just a humble ceremony and a hymnal neath the throne. You will hear me whisper near beyond the great divide. You'll know I made it safely to the other side.
Over here. The ashes. I'll be back with the head.
Mr. Dixon, sir, the head is thoroughly frozen and well wrapped. You should have no trouble making it to Oklahoma City, provided you keep the container sealed. The ashes of the body, the head, I commend you. That will be $6,500. Is that from out of state?
Yes, our check's okay. I don't use credit cards.
No credit cards?
Sorry, no, I'm used to dealing with people who know me.
Oh, very well then, but I'll have to see some ID. No credit cards.
Hello, I'm Mr. Dixon.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Dixon.
Hello, fellas.
Thanks for coming.
Would you mind opening it?
Yes, let me get some scissors.
Be careful with it.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
On your mark, get set.
Softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling for you and for me. See on the portals, he's waiting and watching, watching for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. passing from you and from me. Shadows are gathering, deathbeds are coming, coming for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home.
You're going to take good care, my son?